everyone. So my mom and I were back with another live, but this time we're gonna be doing something different. So today we're gonna be talking about 10 myths about living in the US. So these are we're gonna share our own experiences. So here are 4 Brazilian women. Each one of us have gone through different experiences living here. And so the idea here is not really to talk bad about the US, but it's also to inform, to educate some of you who are coming here either to visit, what? Who are
No. Just me almost having an accident. It's fine.
Okay. So so I lost my train of thoughts.
Okay.
So the whole idea, the whole goal here of these live first to share our own experiences and also to really focus on language, culture, and how they go together, and also share some of our own experiences and some of the myths that some of you who are not here.
And also I like to add that we want somehow to convey the message that speaking the language doesn't matter the level. A language is the bridge. Actually, it's the bridge for you to connect with people. It's not an obstacle. It's not a barrier, you know. So that's the kind of message we want to also share with you guys. So let's listen to their stories. Yeah.
So we're gonna have 2 people join. Pietra, she's being one of our lives, and we also have Larissa, who also lives here in the US, but in another state. She lives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and let me see why.
Oh. Welcome, lady.
Pietra needs to send a request. Pietra, can you send the request? I'm not able to. Okay.
Okay, so we've got Larissa already, Ju. Hi, Larry.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, we are great. It's so nice having you here with us tonight. Great.
Thank you for having me here.
Okay.
Okay.
It worked.
Yeah,
I thought it would not work.
Hey,
sorry.
It's been a while.
Yes, it's been a while since I don't appear here at all.
Yeah. It's been a while. I haven't seen you, by the way. 6 months almost. Okay, Ju, take the floor and just let's keep going.
Yes, actually, so I just want each one of you to introduce yourself briefly, just to say, where you are here in the US, and also, just briefly how long you've been living in the US and what actually you came to the US for. What is the reason? What is the reason? Sorry, guys. I'm having
live chance. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, Pietra, why don't you start?
Okay, so for those of you who don't know me yet, I am Pietra. I am majoring in computer science, and that's actually my last semester here. Just 1 week left, and I came here to the US at first to have an experience as a student athlete, but my plans completely changed, and so I'll be graduating now this month, and I am also living in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Neighbors, huh? Almost neighbors.
Yes.
Kind of.
So
okay, Larry, your turn.
Yes, my name is Larissa. I'm living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania too, so close to Pietra, close. I have been living here since 2016. I came with my family, given my husband career, so now I'm here for 6 years.
Wow, that's a lot with 3 kids, right?
Yes, 3 kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, my mom, why don't some people might not know who you are?
Okay,
And
okay. So these two guests know me. Now I've been living in São Paulo. This is my home city. But last semester I was in the U.S. Studying at a community college for a major, first in communications, and then after that to a major in paralegal studies. But I decided to come back to Brazil for personal reasons. Yeah, that's pretty much me. I'm connecting from Brazil.
yes, and I'm Juliana, for those of you who don't know me, and I've been here. I came here to the U.S. to live with my husband, and I've been here for 6 years, just like Larissa.
Yeah.
Almost 7 years, actually. It's almost 7 years. So today we're gonna share a little bit. We're gonna bust some 10 myths about living in the U.S., language, culture, life here. And so if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put in the chat, and we're gonna be glad to answer them. Yes.
Oh, Ju, one question. Will you be the one seeing everybody? I mean, questions or who is connecting,
Uh,
etc.
yes. Yes, I
Yeah.
normally like people in the chat, so I don't really worry about the question thing. It's for me it's really complicated seeing on that thing.
Okay,
If
let's
they
keep
put in
going.
the chat, I'm glad to answer, you know. I like doing the easiest stuff here.
Okay.
Making
All
things
right.
complicated.
So, talking about myths, why, Larissa, what would you say as when you first got in the U.S.? What would you say? I know that you have lived in different parts of the world, right? Not only the United States, but when you got there in Pittsburgh, what was your greatest challenge?
My greatest challenge is language. Of course, it's so clear.
Language.
Yes, yes, and it's still being a challenge because when we're talking about language, I don't know talking about English properly, like speak English. I think that I need to improve my English day to day because so, but it's to understand the meaning, what they are talking about.
Uh-huh.
So what is the underlying message that they are trying to convey? So it's a
Uh-huh.
hard work, and we need to understand the cultural, the local environment, the patterns, behavioral patterns. So to understand what they are talking about, you know. So
Yeah.
is my the language.
So would you say that the first step when you are no longer a tourist, but then a permanent resident, is to have this deep dive into the culture so we can get to know a
Oh,
little?
sure, sure. It's the point is very important because when when you are a traveler, you have a lenses to see the reality. You know, the
Yeah.
perception is totally different. When you are living,
Yeah.
we need to change the page. You know, because everything is so different. So I think this is the
Yeah.
hard thing to do, but we have some pre-existent cultural perceptions about the
Uh-huh.
country. So when you are
Uh-huh.
talking about Americans, they talking about they when they are speaking, they go to straight the point. It's,
Oh, yeah.
everybody
They are
knows
really
about
upset.
it, but
Uh-huh.
it's not always because sometimes don't go to straight the point and it's caused some misunderstanding. So you need
Yeah.
to know the reality in the culture because the culture interfere in the partners of the communication.
Uh-huh. Okay, yeah, that's a great point. Yeah,
Yeah.
the assertiveness, Americans, this assertiveness I see on the most on American people is something that I really enjoy, and but it's something we must know before traveling, before living abroad, because we might really, as you said, misunderstand.
Yeah.
And And it's not about being rude. It's because they
Yes.
are, I really enjoy it. What do you think about this, Pietra? How
That,
would you,
yeah, that's kind of funny because I feel like I kind of incorporated a little bit of that. Like, I don't know, every time that I need something from someone, I feel like I am more straightforward than before.
uh-huh,
So I am trying to be careful, especially when I need to talk with another Brazilian or people from other countries, because sometimes I believe that I am being too straightforward. So yes, that's funny.
yeah, yeah.
I
But
don't see that as a bad thing. I think
No.
I
that
actually,
I
I see it's
I
very positive.
honestly I think that is so like since we are here dealing mostly surrounded by Americans, I understand there are foreigners too, but I feel like this is a trait that I'm glad I brought to myself,
Yes.
that I like incorporating to my life
Yeah,
because before I was sort of afraid to say no or to explain why I'm saying no. And I felt like I needed to say. And then an American friend, it was an American teacher here, told me, you got nothing to explain. If you want to
yeah,
say no. You don't need to give a reason to
Yes.
anybody. And I
yeah,
so appreciate this trait about
Yes.
Americans because I feel like if they don't like something, they just tell you. If they like, they just gonna do their best to help you out, and I love that, you know. So
yeah.
and I think that other cultures who are not used to that, we need to understand that this is part of their trait and don't take things personally or
Yeah.
don't get
Yes.
offended, you know, like
By the way, it's another thing I like about Americans when they say no personal offense, because sometimes they might understand, you might feel because you come from another country, you might feel offended, but it's nothing about personal offense.
Yes.
And this is a trait that I keep thinking about while now that I'm back to Brazil, it's something quite positive. You know, this assertiveness, this straightforwardness. I mean, this like, oh, I like it. And if once they like you and they like the thing, they are so welcoming, aren't they?
Yes. Yes. There is no
yes.
right or wrong things. So to live abroad is a great opportunity, to learn every day, to know different people, different mindsets. For me, it's a great opportunity, and I'm so glad to have this opportunity for me and for my family.
Yeah, it's amazing. And Larissa, because you are in this business of cross-cultural communication, etc., what would you say the people you work with, people who relocate from, let's say, Brazil to the US, what is the first mistake they make? I mean, or the first misunderstanding that makes their life so hard in the beginning?
So I have different examples from my friends, from some clients. If you take a professional experience, for example, so
Yeah.
and we need to go back in the straightforward communication, the straight to the point. So everybody has
Uh-huh.
this pre-existing conceptions about this. It's kind of the stereotype too. So we need
Yeah.
to be aware about it because the stereotype is so
Uh-huh.
dangerous. But when you take it, so if you are in the professional environment, for example, I heard some clients, some friends talking about it. So when they had a feedback from her boss or his boss,
Uh-huh.
so
Okay.
usually the Americans has usually taken up talking about the good points first, and after that, so
Uh,
they talking about 3 or 4 good points, good
uh-huh.
things that need to show you first.
Okay.
And after that, maybe he just give you one bad thing to about the process, about the project, about something. So
Okay.
as Brazilian, when we have in this situation, so I'm fine because everything is good. I had 3 or 4 good things
Good
about
thing.
my performance, and I just have one bad thing about it. But in fact, the most important in the business environment is the last message. So first say, you are not so bad, but you need to improve this.
I'm gonna take this into consideration.
Yes,
you too, Pietra. Yeah, you're
as
gonna. Yeah, do you?
We just pay attention because it's good because I have 4 good things about my performance, and you're just talking about 1 point about my bad, or my failure, or my mistake.
Okay, your weaknesses.
But the most important message is just 1 point.
The small one.
Yes. Or sometimes I'm talking about it. So I was talking with my boss and I talking about the project and how is my role? Okay for us Brazilians. Sometimes it's okay. Everything's okay. Everything's good. That's okay. It's you must improve something. It's not so good. So
I got you.
Yes, in my day life, the misunderstanding sometimes if I am with my American friends, it's not a big issue because they correct me, they can explain to me about my mistake, about my misunderstanding. But this kind of the thing, sometimes you have no chance in the business environment. So for this reason, it's so important to understand.
I got you. So to sum up, what you're saying is that if you are a professional seeking to work in the US and you are still working, you should pay attention to your bosses, a native speaker, last words, not the beginning of the dialogue or the performance review, because that's the most important thing for you to focus on. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So
and it's totally the same thing that I said before. It's not the correct English. It's not the grammarly. It's the underline of the meaning, what they are saying, you know?
Yeah, okay, I got you. So this is really important. I deal with professionals. Some of them are trying to boost their communication in English, maybe, I don't know. Maybe seeking to work abroad one day. So it's not only about the language, as you said. It's about getting to know what kind of leadership style I'm going to, to deal with there.
Yes, because
this is even more important.
Yes, the culture impacts the communication, you know?
It does. It does. And yeah, it definitely. And I think that's actually a myth when that's actually a myth. People believing that just learning English, just learning the language, grammar, vocabulary is enough for you to come here. I'm not talking about visiting the country. I'm talking if you're coming here, staying for 6 months, living here, or even interacting with Americans. If you have a lot of American friends, I think this is so important. Do not take for granted the rest, because language goes hand in hand with culture, and you can understand so much about, interacting with Americans and even, understanding how language works.
Yeah.
Because of the culture. Yes.
I'd like to hear now from Pietra. You are in a different scenario. You are an international student under F1 visa, and I know you've got a job. So tell us a little about that. And connecting to what Larissa has just said, how do you feel? What kind of thoughts, insights would you have about this?
I feel like getting it. So currently, I am working on my field in the IT, but I believe that my first job here played like a big role in my communication and also like in connecting with more people. Because I remember that on my first semester here, it was, I don't know, I felt lonely, and after getting a job, after starting to get involved with the club and with other people, I feel like I really improved my speech as well. And it's kind of funny because I used to say that I am naturally an introverted person, but since I've been here, I've been getting like opportunities to just improve my leadership and to communicate more with people. So I would definitely say that language it's so important because if you come over here, if you go to college and if you don't know English, I feel like it will be much worse because it will be hard to connect with people. It will be
Yeah,
hard to get a job and to express
yeah.
yourself as well. So I feel like it was a big advantage for me to start my journey with English when I was at home instead of just coming over here and try to see what happened. So I feel like that was really, really good and really, really important in my journey.
Great. Amazing. I'm just writing here. Ju, you can keep going.
Mhm.
Do you have?
So,
I'd like. Let's
so
focus on another myth.
actually,
Ju.
yeah, Pietra, which other, is there any myth or is there anything that when you had an idea, because sometimes we do have expectations when we
Mhm.
visit a country or when we've heard about the country, when we read about it. So so what are some of the myths that you would like to share
Mhm.
uh with us,
Yeah.
with all of us?
So I feel to get started, I feel like one of my big mistakes was to not research more about like transportation, for example, because I really struggle with that because at first I was living in New Jersey
Mm-hmm.
and it was really hard to get access to public transportation over there. And this is something that usually we think, oh, it's a developed it's a developed country, so they will have good transportation everywhere, and that's not really true. We always need to try to search about it first.
To figure
And
out.
yeah, but also, of course, it really depends on where you are. It depends on the city, but I definitely struggle with that
Mm-hmm.
when I was living in New Jersey, and it took me some time to figure everything else. And that was not just me because I know that there are new people coming to school, and even the school doesn't have enough information about
Yeah,
transportation.
so true.
So it's hard. It's hard depending on where you are. So I would definitely try to research more about it before you pick up
Before
a place
leaving.
to go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Yeah, and that also works for you're talking about college and all the university or college, but about education, one of the things I have seen, and Lari, I would, let's see if you correct me if I'm wrong. Usually families who are planning on relocating to the US for some reason, career or just a personal wish, they don't, and they have kids. Usually they choose first. They choose like I'm going to go to California or I go to Florida just because I saw this in a movie or in a TV show, etc. But what happens in reality? Would you mind sharing something with
So
us, just
yes,
so people get to know a little
yes,
about this myth?
yes. Sometimes we are enchanted about the views, about the beaches, about the
Yeah.
places. So we need to have in mind the cost of living in that places. So it's very, very important to know about it
Uh-huh.
because it's a struggle point when you decide to move abroad. No, about
Uh-huh.
the education system is totally different. Yes,
Uh-huh.
and I'm Brazilian, but I prefer the American methodology to teach kids because the the teacher is alive, you know, they live what they are learning inside the
So they had
classroom.
real life experiences at school.
Yes, yes. So you are totally right. We take care about this point because it's so important. Another thing that's very important if you are coming to United States with kids, because sometimes in Brazil, for example, I will choose the best school that I wanted, something like that. And I can do
It
it if
doesn't
I
work
have
like that.
money to pay for the school in Brazil. No problem at all. But when we are coming to United States, when I got here, when I looking for a house, so what I did, I first was looking for the school. So I want to choose the best school here. And I chose the school, and when I went there to enroll my kids, no, but you don't have a house here. You never.
Yeah.
You both first you need to have a house because the school depends of the local that you are living, your neighborhood.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh. And it was really rushed to find a house. I just had 1 week to do everything. So
wow.
I rented, we decided to rent a house first because according to the school that I chose, because for me, the most important is the quality of the education of my kids. I think that we have taken advantage about this opportunity to be here because the public schools are fantastic. So it's a good myth because sometimes another thing is very important for your audience to know about the system that I learned when I got here, because you think everybody's in the 7th grade, for example. But the 7th grade has different levels.
Yeah.
The basic, the academic, academic, honors, AP. So I never heard about it. So it's totally different. And so when we move abroad, we need to understand all the system because make a difference in the children's life.
Yeah.
Good.
I think that your experience and Pietra's experience is showing that I think that we sometimes we have expectations. We believe it's gonna be completely different from what we've heard from people, what we've seen. And then something that sometimes not in the tourist level, but like when you come here even to visit or stay longer, even as a tourist, depending on where you're going, if you're visiting family or you need to research a little bit. And there are good things and there are bad things. So, the grass isn't greener on the other side. Not just because, we feel like we have those expectations. And I think Pietra wish she had done some research. I wish I had done some research because I come from a big city. And I moved to a small town and I had no idea what my life would be like. I thought like, that was enough. That was enough. I'm going to stay home. Oh, someone going to drive me. I think what will be fine. And then I realized that it was a completely cultural shock.
Yeah.
Like living in a big city, being able to do everything, walk and transportation. And here in the suburbs, no public transportation at all, and then so it's a completely car culture. So I think that definitely do some research. For any sort of situation, do some research.
My international friends, they used to say that if you have no car, you have no legs.
Exactly.
So that's pretty much everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's so good. That's a nice thing.
And I would, even when you do some research prior to leaving your home country, you must have an open mind to deal with surprises.
Oh, yeah.
And isn't it? I mean, regardless no matter if you're an international student or a family relocating, you gotta have this open mind and forget about all the taboos, no bias, this kind of stuff. You gotta be open-minded, otherwise you're gonna get frustrated. Frustrated. I can tell you, you guys know that my experience as a student in the US was magnificent. I wish I could keep going, but for personal reasons, I had to come back. But anyways, although I've been dealing and speaking English throughout my, decade, my whole life, since I was a kid, I could have this amazing experience of connecting with young ones, students who could be my grandchildren. And it was
no, not like that, not that old.
But I had my mind was no, I'm just kidding. But my point is, having an open mind for new experiences without any bias helps you connect much better and more easily, regardless of the level of proficiency, language proficiency.
The first step, Lucy, is the first step when you decide to live abroad. Have open mind. It's 50% of the way is guaranteed, do you know? Because we need to forget something. One thing that is a myth that we have when we're talking about the Americans. So they respect about their spaces.
Okay,
so I had the alert from my cross-cultural training that I had opportunity to have is just shaking hands. Americans don't like the hug, the touch, and I respect. And as a Brazilian, sometimes when it was stressful for me because oh my gosh, I cannot just shake hands.
I miss hugging.
Yes, this area that I'm living here in Pittsburgh, the people, it's so friendly, so friendly. I have luck to be here because I'm so shy and just shake the hand. Please
your hand.
give me a hug. Oh yeah. So it's like in the Brazilian way, you know. So we need to read the environment, you know. So we need to forget the stereotypes because
exactly, to observe, to have active listening and open mind and really feel the mood instead of just making judgments before before you connect with people. I'd like to talk now about the language itself. One myth, we as teachers and linguists, I'd like you guys, Pietra and Larissa, to share your insights. We hear people saying that when you move abroad, when you are studying or living abroad, you must have an American accent. This kind of thing. You must speak like a native speaker. Have you ever heard of it? So what do you think about this myth that to connect with people, you must speak like a native speaker?
Oh, not at all. I feel like we need to think about the goal of like each language, which would be like communicate and be like comprehended. So by the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yes, I still having problem with the English. English for me, I think is a huge problem because I
don't think so.
I don't think so,
but
I'm afraid I disagree.
But it's not a barrier to connect with people here. I don't have this problem. One day I was in the meeting with my partners, my professional meeting here, just Americans, and I apologize. I'm so sorry for my English. Forget about it.
You
Yes.
cannot
And
do
yes,
that.
and the lady said, forget about it. Your smile is universal message. Don't you don't need
I
talking
love
about
that.
That's
nothing. Just
a
smile
good
in your
tip.
eyes because everybody will understand you. You know? And I had the opportunity to present a congress here.
Uh-huh.
I went with my poor language, my poor English, but doesn't matter. But the people here, they are so lovely. Do you know? Everybody say, don't apologize because you're English. Forget about it. And they just open heart to listen to hear you, do you know? So I think to
Uh-huh.
connect with people is not a big issue. Maybe I think to have an American accent for me is impossible because don't depend my
For
study.
everybody.
It's the muscles. I didn't speak in English since I was a child. So my
And
different,
yeah, I'm not, but I don't think we need to
yes,
because there are so many foreigners speaking English,
yes,
and they don't care. Americans don't care
yes. They
about
are
that. As
so
long as you
lovely in this
can,
aspect. They are amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
one. This is what you said it's awesome because I keep telling my students, first thing you must do, you know how to smile, don't you? You
Yeah.
know how to use your body language nicely and friendly, don't you? So that's the first step. And don't forget the magic words. Excuse
Yes.
me. Everybody
Yes.
knows how to say that.
Yes.
Please, you're
I'm
welcome. I'm
sorry.
sorry. Yeah, you know,
yeah.
so yeah, and we have connecting is even in this case, especially when I mean, when you move out or when you are relocating, is to connect with people in a, friendly, in a friendly way, without worrying much or overthinking on your accent or the mistakes you're gonna make, because those will probably be a barrier.
Yes.
Yes. Pietra, would you like to say something else before you go? Because she needs
Oh, you
she
have,
won't be able to stand to the end of the live.
I'm sure you have
So
assignments,
is there
right?
anything
College.
I
else that
have
you would like?
finals coming up.
I know the feeling about
Six.
the finals.
Yeah, I like that here that someone made a comment. I believe that is more common Brazilians judge themselves, their English than natives. This is
That's so
so
true.
true.
Yes.
Yes, that is
That's
so
so
true.
true.
I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna pin the comment because this is great, Andrea.
Ah,
Yeah, thank you.
that's Pietro's mom here. Oh, P, before you go, I know how these assignments and finals work, so you must be tired. And what kind of maybe word of advice or final words would you share with us? And also, we would like you to write down your Instagram. So if
Mhm,
people are curious about what you're doing in the US, I
mhm.
guess it's amazing. They will learn a lot from you.
Let me think. That's definitely a hard question, but I feel like it's definitely challenging to live abroad. Like every week, that's something new popping up in our lives, and it is hard, but also it just help us to improve in life and to see things through other lens as well.
Hmm.
Um, my semester was absolutely intense,
Hmm.
and as we were talking about language and connecting with other people, uh, I believe that if I didn't have the connections that I've made throughout my year here, I believe that I probably would have gone back home because I feel like it is too hard to be here by yourself. You need to have support, you need to connect with more people. Otherwise, it's gonna be harder than it should be. So it's important to persist, and to keep improving your English, because that would be really important to connect with people, to um, find great opportunities as well. So I'm not sure if you are just starting to learn English right now, or if you are in a long journey, but just keep going, keep learning.
Don't give
Don't give
up.
That will
up.
definitely be worth. That will definitely be worth it. Yes.
Yeah, and it's a continuous, yeah, this work is continuous. It never stops.
Yes.
Never
Yes.
stops.
We learn
Even
Yeah.
something new
Until
every
we
week.
die.
every week.
Yeah.
Every week. So when it's your assignments, or when is your final?
I have one thing due tonight. I have like 6 finals coming up, and um, but
It's
honestly,
hard
I
though.
am excited. I am excited because that's my last week as a student there. I'm gonna continue working there, but that's definitely gonna be different. I
Mm-hmm.
think I'll need a different perspective. I'll be inserted in a different environment as well. So
It's
that's gonna be,
fantastic.
yeah, that's gonna be interesting, because I feel like right now I'll have more time to literally focus on studying things related to my career, and it will be like an oriented study. So I feel like it will be amazing. Hopefully, I will have a better semester with more stability. But it has been a great experience.
Yeah, I
Yes.
guess. Yeah. Well, yeah, you should go, because I know the feeling. It's like a 24/7 work, isn't it? I mean, having to deliver the
Yeah.
assignments
And
and
just, yeah, put it here, your Instagram here, so that
yes.
people.
Yeah,
Oh no, I have here Pietra M. So let me
Oh,
put
let
it
me
here.
put
So
it.
Pietra, yes, Oliveira, right? So
Yes.
so
oh yeah.
Pietra, she does post about her experiences living in the U.S.
Her
And
everyday struggles,
English too. Yeah. So I mean,
accomplishments.
it might be good for some of you who really want to feel, who need some inspiration. Not only if you're planning to move here, but you have the different aspect, reality,
Yeah.
like to get to know. It's always good when we have someone who went through the experiences, and we have the person, we can learn so much from seeing
Yeah.
what are here.
Yeah. And
So,
I witnessed Pietra is an inspiration. Yeah, she's an
For
inspiration.
me
So
Thank you.
too. For me too.
yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, go girl. I'm sure your GPA is gonna be 4, but yeah,
let me
you gotta work hard. I'm
let me
sure.
share something with you before I
Oh
go.
yeah?
That was a
Uh-huh. I'm
that was
curious.
a huge that was a huge accomplishment. You didn't have the opportunity to see it yet, but that was a huge
oh,
Wow.
accomplishment.
she got her own
Yeah,
You
I
car.
bought
bought a car.
the car?
Yeah.
She bought a car, yes.
I saw it. You should have told me. Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, I mean
Congratulations.
that's a really huge accomplishment, like we feel, it's just like, everything like going, like feeling rely on people all the time to go to places, to have that one more obstacle to overcome. So that is amazing. Any
Yes.
little different things that we should
Yeah.
celebrate. The small
Yeah.
wins
Yeah.
should be celebrated. And
One
that's a big
step
win.
at a one step at a time, patiently, but you are
Yeah.
getting there. So I'm
Yes.
so proud of you, kiddo.
We all.
Yeah, we will definitely talk about it later. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for having me today. It's always a pleasure. I wish I could stay more because
No,
You
that's
it's always so
okay.
can.
That's
You
fun.
must
okay.
go. You gotta
Yeah.
study. You have a long to go, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Almost there, almost there. Take
Okay.
care.
Yeah.
Have a great night.
Have a
Have a
great
great night.
You
night.
too. You
I
too. Take
actually
care, dear.
I actually wanted to if I can, like, to share a myth. Yes.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
see, I'm a little bit, yes. So let me So I mean that I think that's one thing that I feel like it happens a lot in the English teaching industry when people are learning English. They have this idea, right, that Americans should have a face, should look in a certain way to be an English teacher or to teach you how to speak English. So my myth is all Americans look the same, speak the same way, they're all the same. And that's completely a myth.
Not true.
Because I feel like there's not a face that's not, oh, this person should look this way to be American. I feel like we have Asian Americans, we have Afro Americans, we have people who were born here, daughter and son of immigrants, so they are Americans. So there's not a face or a look to Americans, and I feel like when people come here, they only have one reality, and not all Americans speak the same way. Not all of them have a neutral accent.
Yes.
You have people from different regions with different cultures. They speak differently. And I feel that's something that some people should know. Yes. When you come to the US, even for visiting, but you get out a little bit of the tourist places, then you're gonna see be open to meeting different kind of Americans, going to different regions. I haven't had the chance to go to other parts of the US, but I have friends from different parts of the US. I work with people from the South, the Northeast, the West Coast, and they are different. They're really different. And so this is definitely a myth, to be open, because American, they're not look all the same. They don't speak in the same way.
Yeah.
So
again, it's about, what you're saying is exactly what we were saying at the beginning. I mean, don't buy your ticket or don't close up your plan until you get to know minimum about the US culture, different cities, because as you said, you will hear different accents and culture. You got to learn about the history of the US somehow, because you will see how independent states are and their mindsets, etc. So without this deep dive into what happens in real life, and that's, I don't know, Larissa, if, again, correct me if I'm wrong.
You are right.
But what I see from, I have clients. You guys know I deal with legal translation as well. I'm not only an English coach. And I have a variety of experiences from my clients, and they are totally like glamorizing their lives there, their life there. They have no idea, even regardless of their education level. Yeah, they have no clue, and I don't know why they simply leave Brazil without first, doing this research and talking to people, etc., etc. And then, again, all they're going to have is frustration.
Yes. So to live abroad is not easy. So when you are talking, I was laughing, because there is a myth that when I talk with my Brazilian friends in Brazil in my vacation time, and so it's like to live here is like a paradise. Everything is easy. It's not true. First, I don't have my family here. It's my mother, my sister, and so on. And here, I have my professional life, but I must have my things inside my home. Wash my dishes, wash my clothes, so clean up my house.
That's another myth.
So here, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. So
and it's not only for you, for American families as well.
Reality, I know that there are rich people that can pay for a helper. It's okay, but I cannot to pay for it. It's kind of the services. So I do by myself. Is one thing.
Uh-huh.
And you
But
are talking about,
that's the reality.
yes, I see the
That
people that is around of me they have the same life. So,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
and you were talking about the open mind, but another thing is to lose the fear. Don't be shy. Don't you
Yeah,
worry about your
I
English.
agree.
Go outside and do everything that you need to do or want to do. So doesn't matter, you know. So my first experience abroad was in Jamaica, and when I got
Uh-huh.
there, my English is worse than my English now, but and I depend on my husband for everything. I have the basic English in that time.
Uh-huh.
So and I was close at home with my three kids. They don't they don't speak English. They didn't speak English in that time. So I learned when I lose my fear. If it's okay, I cannot to be close here. I need to do my things. And I remember when I got to this, I have nothing to eat at home. I was arrange my things. It says, okay, kids, today the lunch will be a milkshake. And I went to the supermarket. And they were kids. Lara was 3 years old, Guilherme was 9, and Manuela was 12 years old in that time. And they want to have a milkshake with a straw. And I
Uh-huh.
had this dictionary. It's so old.
Uh-huh.
It's almost old like me.
Collins.
Yes, but it's so old. And I have affection with this one. And I forgot when I opened my purse, there was no dictionary. Oh my gosh, how can I buy a straw here? And I want a straw, so I went to looking for each aisle for the straw. And I found the straw, but there is no price. And I need to talk with the guy to know the price.
Oh my
Oh
God, we
my
never
gosh.
think about those.
So
We
I
never
excuse me,
think.
sir, I'd like to know the price and show the box with the straw box. I need the price. And the guy said, blah, 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 blah. I am so sorry, sir. I just need to know the price. And then, but straw. I just, sir, I don't speak English. Could you speak with me in slow motion, please? And the guy laughing. He was laughing there, and I was laughing here. I said, "Oh man, yeah man. Do you want to know the
Jamaica.
price of the straw?" And I realized that the straw was canudo in Portuguese. I said, "Oh my
Yes.
gosh, you got it. I need to know." I never forgot straw. The name is straw. Never. So since that time,
We do learn with those things.
since that
Yeah.
time, I
Yeah.
learned.
So,
Yes, I learned that I need to be exposed for the community,
Yeah.
for the language.
exactly.
So today I'm
Yeah. You
here
have
talking
to.
with you, and I know that my English is not so good, but I'm here. I'm
Yeah.
learning.
You were communicating.
So important to be exposed, and I think
Exposed.
that's why, and I feel like sometimes that's what happens when people think, oh, you live abroad, so you speak English
No.
fluently. Everybody who lives here speaks English fluently. No, I know a lot of people who are still living here for 20, 30 years, and they don't speak
Yes.
English, and it's all about you allowing yourself to go out there and speak, even though if you don't know, but not everybody has the guts to do it. Not everybody wants to take that step. So that's why there are still people here living in this country don't speak English because they fear so much
Yeah.
that they
Yes.
rather live where they are in their comfort zone around people from their own
Only
culture,
from their
like,
country. Yeah.
Yes.
and not get stuck at home. So you
Yes.
said like, and we, those things happen. We always have to think, okay, we're good. I know how to say that, but you were not
I
expecting
don't
the
mind,
straw will
you
not
know.
have a price. You were not expecting they will not have a prize. So you
Yeah.
would have to go out there and speak. So
And don't be
Yeah.
shy to say, I didn't understand you. Could you repeat, please? Could you
Yes.
talk with me slowly, please? I
Yeah.
I have no problem to ask,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
We should, when I see Americans here in Brazil, and Portuguese is so hard, much harder than English, we should follow that example. First, they
Yes.
are humble. Second, many of them are humble. Like they are not afraid of making mistakes. They ask for help.
yeah,
Yes.
And they are not afraid of getting out of their comfort zone because they want to connect with people. As Juliana was saying, connect with different people, different places. That's how you learn. That's how you
Yes.
get to know about the local culture.
Yes, and this
yeah,
job that you have, because I know your job, Lucy and Juliana, it's fantastic because you go through the needs, what your student is needing. Because in my case, I doesn't want to do, I don't want to know about the to be verb. I need to have a communication. I need to speak. I need to go with my
Yeah.
kids to the doctor. I need to go to the supermarket. I need to solve my problems. Do you know?
Yes. Yes.
In this kind of
Yeah.
the proposal that you have, it's fantastic. I am a fan. Do you know that?
Oh,
uh,
Yes, I
you
am,
are
because
so
make a
sweet.
difference in the,
that's
the real
beautiful.
life of the
Yes,
people,
We
you
are a
know?
fan too. We are a fan too because your international experience and this goal and this purpose you have at helping, assisting people who have no clue, people with high level education, but sometimes they think they know everything. And guys, if you are moving abroad and it's your first time, remember, it's gonna be like your first day in the elementary school.
Yes.
You
yes.
know, it's totally new. It's brand new. It's gonna be like
Even even not even leaving, but even if you come here for the first
for
time
a
visiting
while.
and you're alone and you need to communicate with people to go to places and you don't have anybody to rely
Yes.
on, you know you have to go out there and speak.
Yes.
Because
Yeah,
it's easy traveling with agencies. It's easy when you're traveling with someone who can speak for you. What if you are traveling alone?
Yes.
yeah,
It's you.
I think it's
It's
yeah,
two
just
most
you.
important keys. Open mind and don't be afraid. I think it's this.
exactly.
Exactly. And
That's
I,
So,
I think
amazing.
this is so important, and they appreciate that. You know what? I had a situation today at work that someone needed someone to speak Portuguese, and I answered the call because the girl couldn't speak English. She was having issues at the employer. The employer was his parents are from
oh,
Portugal,
oh,
so he knew how to speak a little bit of Portuguese, but he was so afraid.
yes,
He was speaking English with me, and he said, "I understand, but I cannot explain to her much what she needs to do. Can you help me out?" So I was there,
yes,
helping both. But then he starts speaking Portuguese from Portugal, and I was like, "You speak pretty well. Don't worry about it." So just the fact that he's there helping someone who's in need, and
yes,
she's Brazilian, he was from Portugal, and he was trying to speak Portuguese, even if it was not perfect. He was
yes,
there trying to give her a hand. So I feel like we Brazilians, we need to stop feeling inferior. We need to
Exactly.
stop feeling that we should be perfect to speak, and we should stop thinking that English native speakers are God or monsters. No,
yes,
they are just normal
yes,
people. They
Yeah.
also
yes,
go through those things when
Ordinary,
they
yeah.
learn another
Yeah,
language,
they
you
are
know?
ordinary people. It's just a matter of you being humble and connecting with them. And as
yes,
Larissa said, to have an open
yes.
mind.
Because
Yeah, that's
unpolite
pretty
people,
much it.
there are around
Yeah,
the world. Every place you will
Yeah,
find
everywhere.
unpolite people, but it's
yeah,
usually the people are they are not unpolite, you know. They treat
yeah,
you as
Yeah,
with respect, you know, they have patience, they try to understand you. I'm lucky to live here in Pittsburgh because the people, it's so amazing. It's so
Yeah,
amazing. So sometimes
I agree with you.
I'm in the store, at the restaurant. Oh, I love your necklace. I love your shoes. So the people, it's so amazing.
They are really, yeah, it's exactly
So
like that. I love
amazing.
your hair, I love your scarf, I love this, I
Yes.
love that.
So when you are talking, they see you talking in Portuguese. Oh, what is this language? It's
Oh,
not Spanish.
oh yeah,
No, it's
it's
not
so
Spanish.
true. I'm
So
getting that a lot
yeah.
nowadays.
So, but one
Yeah.
day I was in the supermarket with a friend, Brazilian friend, and we were talking about in Portuguese, of course. And one unpolite woman stopped beside me and, do you speak English? And I answered, yes, I do. And why you are talking another language? If it's, oh, I'm so sorry. I am multilingual person. So today I'm training Portuguese. Tomorrow I will train Russian. Another day I will speak Germany. And just Friday I will speak in English. Why? How many languages you speak? The husband
Ah,
gave her,
I love that.
if she
Yeah.
if she speaks Germany, I were in trouble. I was in trouble because I don't speak
Yeah,
German.
you would be in trouble.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and that's one thing to add up to what you said about being open-minded, not being afraid, getting out of the comfort zone. I guess you must, one mindset we must shift is, or we must have is, we are struggling to become bilingual. You
Yes.
speak your mother language, Portuguese,
Yes.
our mother language, Brazilian Portuguese. When I'm learning English, I'm seeking to become bilingual. If you are also studying Spanish,
Yeah.
trilingual, Italian, and so on, polyglot. So you know, it's an achievement. You
Yes.
have to celebrate, not to be afraid of it.
Yeah,
And so
yes, definitely.
I had, when you were
Oh,
in
I.
Boston, and I had that
Oh,
teacher. We had the same teacher, and I was talking with her. Oh my gosh, my English is so bad. They say forget about it. It's sometimes I speak so easily, but sometimes I'm stuck. You know, I
yes,
cannot
you get
improve
stuck.
the communication. And he said, but our mind is like the learning system is like elliptical. So depends
Yeah,
of the your position in the curve. Some days
yeah,
it's easy, some days it's not easy, some days it's
yeah,
more or less. So we need
yeah.
to understand it. He respect our process, you know?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
this is so cool. Yes.
yeah.
We are actually, it's more than 1 hour. Do you guys want to say like a final message
I
for
guess,
everything?
Larissa,
No,
what would
I just say thank you for having me here. I'm love to share my experience with
experience?
you, maybe help someone that is facing the same difficulties. But
Uh-huh.
so
You
In
want to put, yeah, I'm gonna
your
share you want to put it here too, but I'm also gonna share
your
on the
Instagram.
stories. I'm gonna share it too. I'm just putting here her
okay,
Instagram, but I'm definitely gonna share it in the stories
okay,
as
thank
Yeah,
you,
well.
yeah.
thank you very much. It was a
So
pleasure
thank you.
to be with
Yeah,
you
it
all.
was wonderful having you, Larry. Thank you so much. I know we know how busy you are,
It's
but
my
thank you, thank
pleasure.
you, thank you. Yeah, it's our pleasure too. So this video will be recorded, right, too?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Good.
I always save all the lives. Thank you so much, each one of you who joined us today.
Thank you.
It was just, that was just something that we wanted to share here about language, culture, to inspire you, all of you. And thank you so much for being here. I know there's always like our dear followers who are here
Yes,
every night when we join.
always.
So thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Lottie. Um,
My pleasure.
Our
Thanks,
pleasure
Mom.
too. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful weekend,
You
guys.
too.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.